Hello cakeys, first things first, I don't know who sent me work because this video is 5 minutes long. I had a meeting with board of directors, which is myself, before I was able to do this voiceover, because 5 minutes voiceover for what? Anyways, let's make cake. Let's make a brown vanilla cake and a plain white vanilla cake. First thing you're going to do is measure your butter and add in some sugar and mix that first before if you know that you're using table mixer that is not strong, or you're using hand mixer, you have to mix the butter and sugar with your hand first until it's lighter before you start mixing with your hand mixer or your table mixer that is not an industrial mixer. You understand? Now mix it until your butter is properly mixed or your butter and sugar is creamed. How would you know that it's creamed? You will know that it's cream when the color changes from what you saw earlier to what it is right now. It's whiter. And looking at it now, we are raising it in a spatula. It's not falling off the spatula. That's to tell you that our cake, butter and sugar is not properly mixed. I don't know as me and this voiceover will do today, but let's manage it. Now let's try again if it's properly mixed. Okay, it fell, which means our butter and sugar is creamed and it has changed color to white and the texture is lighter, so you know that it's creamed. That first step is the first step to making sure that you get a very fluffy cake. So make sure you cream your butter and sugar very well. Now proceed to whisk your egg. I use hand mixer because I don't have power. Now you're going to put this in bits. Small egg, you mix. After putting small egg, then you go in to add flour. Mix this well. Let it mix properly before you go in with your flour. Now I added some baking powder and baking soda. All the measurements will be listed in the comment, so check comment for measurement. Now you're going to add a bit of flour and mix. Please use all-purpose flour to bake your cake. Especially if you're a beginner, use all-purpose flour to bake your cake, because if you are baking for the first time and you're gonna carry with flour or flour that you don't know, you will not know the composition or the protein level of the flour, and you will not go and use flour that you don't know. Your cake will not come and look somehow. You say it's on my page that you saw it. It's not my page. Don't lie on my head. So now mix this. After adding your flour, you go in with egg again, then you go in with flour again. Just small like that. This way, the purpose of this is just so that you mix well, so that the cake is not too, it doesn't come out lumpy. Your batter or your paste is not lumpy. Mix this. I think this is like the last egg or the last time that I added egg. Voiceover is not easy, my fans. I never get fans, I never flourish. Now adding milk. I used condensed milk. I use condensed milk because I don't really add too much sugar like that. So I have to use condensed milk to elevate the sweetness of the cake. Now mix that up again. When you're baking cake, you have to mix. So now, when it comes to flavor, a lot of bakers, they put their flavor in the beginning. I like to put my flavor last, like towards the end, because it just retains the flavor. I use vanilla flavor, butterscotch, and I use some vanilla oil, which I just added right now. Mix this. If you are doing cake or you are mixing vanilla cake and your batter is not looking like this, like, if don't go and do stone and call it cake. Now go in with your raisins. That's if you want to use raisins. So this one is optional, but the person that I made the cake for wanted raisins inside, so I mixed that up, and this is the batter. Now I'm going to divide the batter into two. One that I'm going to add browning to achieve a brown vanilla cake, and the other one that I'm going to bake plain like that. Now I'm adding browning. After adding this browning, I'm going to mix it, and I will have my brown vanilla cake, which is what you are seeing in this video right now. Like I said, mixing is the trick of cake. You have to mix properly, but make sure that you don't over mix. Yes, because over mixing can affect your cake. Now let's proceed to seal our baking pan. Since I'm not using a parchment paper to bake, I'm just going to seal with some butter. Make sure that you see all those places where they have gum patch, plastic surgery in the pan. Make sure you seal it very well with your butter so that your cake doesn't pass there to do another work that I did not send it. Now adding some flour on top of the butter. Now it is properly sealed. You are going to transfer your butter into your pan and you are going to bake. Now when you are baking this type of cake, you don't need too much heat. Please bake on 200 degrees. You can preheat your oven at 250, but bake on 200 degrees so yeah, your cake will bake well. so that when it comes out, it will look nice. And when you finish baking your cake, because of this pan, this type of pan, that's why I added parchment paper here. But I didn't add in the other pan because that pan, in my language, we call it opokane. That's holding this pan. Good. So I just put that in the oven and baked it, and it was ready. Maybe when I want to decorate the cake, I'm going to show you what they looked like after I baked them. But that will be in another video. So thank you for watching this one. It was a long voiceover, probably the longest voiceover.